Vivziepop responded to more criticism. Helluva Boss is a story that takes place in hell, where all the people there are in hell. Hell is a place that, as known by literally everyone, is bad. Now, Vivziepop, being that she is tackling a darker storyline, I guess, it gets into lots of drama, she gets lots of hate, and in my opinion, one of the biggest mistakes she makes is that she interacts with it all the time. Every time she gets hate for something, she jumps in to, you know, talk about it and say her piece. And quite frankly, I think that that is destructive, because then the haters see that she is actually targetable, she's actually harassable, she's actually affected by the hatred that they give. We are going to be jumping right into it now!
Nearly a week ago, I did a video showcasing Vivzi's tweets regarding Beelzebub and the criticism of Helluva Boss Season 1, Episode 8. Since
My biggest complaint with Beelzebub from Helluva Boss is that there's not enough porn of her. And the porn of her that is there makes her too furry.
And she made a couple more. In these, Viv discussed some of the criticism she's received regarding Hazbin and Helluva, along with teasing some upcoming songs in the shows. So to start things off, Viv confirmed that Helluva Boss is created for an adult audience. Basically, for context, a minor was complaining on Twitter that the show scares them and has adult themes.
Well, too bad, don't watch it!
There being warnings.
There's YouTube Kids! You don't need to watch this, it's not on YouTube Kids!
For every episode that it's not suitable.
She didn't need to add to this, because it shows that this bothered her, so more people will jump on this train to bother her. Yes, everything she's saying is correct, but don't get your hands dirty! Dreamer over here already eviscerated whoever this person is, okay? Dreamer already kicked this individual's butt. The Redditors are literally cheering when she does this, because it just opens her up as a more vulnerable person online. Don't fuel the fire, Viv. Come on, trust me, bro.
After this, a random Twitter user said that Vivzi profits off minors. They got quote retweeted by a fan who said that Viv and Spittlehorse aren't going to baby their kid. If they're a moron who ignored content warnings, that's on them. Viv saw this exchange and said, I love accounts like this because I've never seen someone embody Karen energy this hard for a cartoon before. Just stop watching. In a follow-up reply, she said, my shows are adult 100%. In content...
She explains it so much. Dude, you have the warning at the beginning of every single one of the Helluva Boss videos. You do not need to do this. Do not humor the people on Twitter. Do not humor the idiots.
Language and yes, humor. We are aware it has young adult appeal. Literally, why wouldn't it?
Although that criticism was mega cringe. I hope that you're not taking this, my insight into this situation, as me saying that Vivziepop's in the wrong. Viv's in the right. I just wish he wouldn't subject yourself to this by actually responding.
Full of edgy demons and it's gay AF. But it's not for kids. It's never been for kids, never will be. We have warnings, that's all we can do. A Twitter user replied, the show's humour consists of just penis jokes. They deleted their reply, but Viv responded saying, I mean it's fine if you don't think that's funny, you do you. But I love that you people see like 3 dick jokes in a series and are like, wow, this show is penis, laugh, lol. Like, get new material for the love of God, lol.
Like, why? Don't respond to these people. If someone's... Dude, you have any idea how many people try to say that I'm not funny? Whether you think I'm funny or not, I don't care. I do my own thing. I think I'm funny, and I don't really care if you don't. Obviously, some people do, because some people subscribe to me. Some people think I'm funny. Some people think I'm not funny. And frankly, when people tell me I'm not funny, I live with that. This comment is just saying, her dirt, Helluva Boss. The humor's not great. And her response is this whole long, drawn out talking about why the comedy is actually better than that. Why? Why do you respond? Why do you give them the light of day?
LOL. Viv said that the reason she was responding more to criticism on Twitter is because, quote, it's the last day of Pride Month, feeling some vibes, gonna get some mileage.
Whatever that means. Another
user brought up the humour in the show. Viv replied with, a lot of people take issue with X's and O's, and again, if you don't think it's funny, that's fair. But some people do. Like literally, my favourite joke in the episode is a sudden cut to Krum's evil stare, surrounded by the pistoning dildos. Humour is subjective, crazy I know. She followed up with, X's and O's definitely has more than the average episode between the dildos and Chaz. But even then, there's really only a few highlighted jokes. The dicks existing on screen doesn't count, haha. Still, I get not liking it. That's entirely up to personal taste though, which is my point.
If that is your point, then you wouldn't respond at all.
So moving on to June 30th, fans are hyping up a potential potential trailer or announcement for Hazbin Hotel. Instead, we got a
that's
post from the
exciting.
Hazbin Hotel Twitter of Angel Dust and Charlie celebrating Pride Month. Many fans felt a bit let down because of this announcement. Twitter users pointed out,
That's not an announcement. It's literally just art of the characters on Pride Month because they're gay. But what? That's not an announcement.
that Viv and the team aren't in charge of marketing, so this is why the marketing team dropped the ball. It's probably A24 or some other company doing the teasers. Viv responded with a praying emoji to one comment. So Viv continued discussing the humor in X's nose.
Oh god, the humor. Why are you discussing the humor?
The reply, she said, that was literally the punchline. The contrast of how dark the scene was, how he tried to hide the sounds and visuals until the sudden cut back to Krim. It was intentional. It's the hardest laugh in the episode for me, and it only hits because of how much it contrasts. That said, if you don't think it was funny, that's okay. But that was done on purpose. It was a joke and it worked for a lot of people, myself included. One Twitter user replies that Viv is saying that her stuff is good and people don't get it. Viv says, LOL what? The user replies again that Viv is combining people that criticize with the trolls. Viv says, I've literally never said that. It's people like you that insist that's what I'm saying, no matter how many times I try to acknowledge the validity of criticism. It's not saying everyone who doesn't like it doesn't get it. To point out some shit was intentional and subjective. Another user talked about character redesign.
You see, like, this entire situation of this person saying that you're not being against trolls, you're going against critics now. You're saying that you can't criticize Helluva Boss either, because when you say I don't find Helluva Boss funny, all of a sudden you're talking about how, wow, you just didn't understand the humor. Your IQ is not high enough, which obviously isn't something she was saying. But if she wouldn't have said anything at all, they wouldn't have even had the ability to open their mouth and talk about that's what she was saying. She started this thread. This thread comes because she responded to a hate comment for no reason.
It doesn't get it. To point out some shit was intentional and subjective. Another user talked about character redesigns and how some people received hate for creating them. Viv said, I don't like that people are getting hate just for redesigning. That's lame. But that also isn't anyone working on the show's fault. We didn't ask anyone to redesign these characters. It's a choice. No matter what reason they choose to do it, that isn't our business. The user says the team and Viv should ignore the redesigns.
Oh God,
Viv says, I think you underestimate the sheer amount of vitriol levied at the team and the show and how utterly hurtful it is. You can't just say, then just stay silent, when neither the design nor the hate is their fault. They are allowed to be frustrated at blatant rudeness, that's all. User says that they haven't seen many people being rude. Viv says, you really haven't seen it. Trust me, it's there in abundance.
Dude, trust me, it's there in abundance too, but I don't respond to them mostly, which is why it's not brought to the forefront. Which is why, I guess, more people aren't probably jumping on it.
Again though, harassment shouldn't be happening on any end of the discussion, but an indirect comment of frustration is hardly doing any harm. The user says that they should ignore them. Viv says, I mean, it's really not their responsibility to act like feelingless beings, to uphold and police the comfort of fan artists, and saying things like they can express like, and dictating appropriate language is very disconcerting. I'm just a little lost on what your goal is here. The user makes a blanket statement that all redesigns are done in good faith. Viv says, the fan artists aren't at all a collective hive mind, doing it for the same reasons though. Some are being full on rude and mean. Your logic only applies to some, it's impossible to apply to everyone. The team hasn't called for fans to be harassed, just that it's uncool to be rude. A Twitter user says Stolas Sings had a profound impact on them. Viv says, oh just you wait, hinting at a new Stolas song that's very sad. On July 1st, Viv did a tweet saying, I feel like I make this kind of vague hype tweet every time I get a completed song back from the songwriters, but the songs coming up in the second half of Helluva Season 2 slap so hard in my opinion. I cannot wait until they're out in the world. In reply she said, I love all the music, but not all of it. I go back to listen to just because it's so contextual to the episode and best in full glory for me. But
I don't know, for me the Asmodeus song is still peak.
Starting episode 7, I literally listened to the songs on repeat. Y'all in for some treats. One user replies that they can't wait to see Fizz sing again. Viv says he has some bangers. Twitter also wasn't working for most of the day because of a new rate limit change. Basically, this change made it so that if you don't pay for Twitter Blue, you can only view a certain amount of tweets on your timeline. Otherwise, the website becomes unusable. Viv tweeted saying, Twitter is still working for me, but the way it's seeming, it'll finally be unusable soon. This really is my one place to see and support the fandom. Maybe I'll consider making a Discord. I won't interact much if I do, but I'd love a place people can still be seen. She did one more, but it's just her saying for mutuals to add her on Discord in case Twitter goes under. So basically from these tweets, Viv is saying that she might make a fan Discord server. Personally, I think this is a bad idea. My server has been under...
Yeah, Viv seems like a really good person that's getting caught up in all this stuff for no reason, and it's annoying and it's sad. But a Discord server is a problem.
constant raids, and it has around 13,000 members. If Viv makes one, it'll easily hit 50k plus and will be a war zone. I think posting announcements on the helluva and hazbin subreddits would be a better idea. So yeah, those are all of Viv's tweets. We got some teasers regarding upcoming songs, and we also got some clarification on why certain scenes were created in specific ways. Overall, I think Viv's threads were quite helpful. I've seen people say that Viv should take a break from Twitter, and I think that could be a good idea. Although these threads are done in good faith, they're commonly used against Viv to say that she can't take criticism. The next episode...
There we go. And that whole complaint of can't take criticism is only because she's stoking the cold.
Helluva Boss appears to be near completion, so taking a break until closer to its release might be a good idea. If you have any thoughts on the threads, let me know in the comments section down below.
My thoughts on the threads that they were kind of nothing burgers, but she shouldn't have gotten involved with it anyway. Nothing good is gonna come from it. It's just gonna make people realize that you're actually accepting the criticism, you're actually feeling the criticism, and that they're gonna just continue to yell and hate for no reason. You don't give them anything. You give them a thumb, they'll want a hand. You give them a hand, they'll want an arm. There's nowhere to go and no one to talk to. You either shit on them or just let them scream into the void. The moment you actually respond with logic, you lose. Like, subscribe, and follow me on Twitch. Stay weird, fam!